another unpacking session. Thanks for being a superstar. Alright, so I'm actually going to read out of one of my pages in my journal about the concept that I want to discuss today, because this is coming up quite a bit. So let's get into it. This is on perceptions of truth. That's at least the title that I've given it. And ways to do things. When I say perceptions of truth, this means, when someone's thinking that my way is right, and they're stuck in this black and white kind of perception. For example, there can be multiple truths to something. So for example, a relaxing holiday to you might mean, going somewhere and just being at a beach and having no agenda. To another person, it might mean, ramming up things in their schedule and doing things, and that might be relaxing. And they're both fine. They're both right in a way. So does it mean that any one way is wrong? Not necessarily, or not at all, because it is right for that individual, right? So there is this individuality piece to it. And so what I've written over here is individuality means by way of doing or expressing something, it is right for you, for your soul, and for your health. And as NDs, we honor this. So for example, two people might come in with the same condition, and one might benefit from one treatment actively and the other may not. Does that mean that, their condition isn't true or the treatment is not working? Not entirely true. Because each individual faces different health obstacles. So for one person, they might have something else going on, and another person, they might have something else going on that's preventing that treatment from working for them. And so we are very mindful of that individuality piece, and this is why we're different than conventional system, where it's kind of a, patient presents with this, give them this kind of model. So coming back to the next point that I've written down over here, denying their right to individualistic expression is a means of trying to attain control or exerting a perfectionistic view. And what a loss that is. So what I mean by that is that, when we start to go into that kind of black and white thinking, and, we kind of label someone as like what you're thinking or your opinion is wrong, we're actually denying them that individualistic right. And that comes from an ego place. So that comes from this place of fear almost, because that threatens your ego, and I'm going to go into that a little bit. And what you're actually trying to do is control that situation or exert your view on that situation, and that is what I would say kind of oppression, right? I tend to write in very philosophical terms, so this is what I've written next, and that is certainly one must want to attain such control when they're not secure in their self or their sense of self. Or else why would they, with another opinion, threaten your ideology? So coming back to that point, when you are simply not ready to accept something that is against your ideology, that comes from that fearful place of you're not secure in your own ideology. I'll give you an example to make this a little bit easier. So for example, if I like bananas, and another person likes apples, and they come in and they tell me that nope, apple tastes better, bananas don't taste good. If I truly don't believe securely in the fact that I really enjoy bananas or they taste good, I would feel threatened by what they're saying, because what that means is that I'm not entirely sure that what I like is what I actually like, and that what they're saying might hold some truth, but it threatens me because it holds truth. So this is one important point that I want to make, is that when we feel a trigger in us, or we go into that black and white thinking, it's because we've actually not made peace with what we're actually trying to protect, or the ideology that we're trying to protect. We're not entirely secure in it, we're not grounded in it, we haven't completely understood it or accepted it, because if we had, then, if someone says something and you're grounded in your truth, you would just shrug it off. So then I go on to say that a sense of loss is being experienced, right? So when someone threatens your ideology, survival mode kicks in, and this is to protect any such loss of that ideology. So, let's say, you hold a particular belief, and someone then presents a different belief, you react from that place of, well, I'm going to lose this belief, so I'm just going to shut that out and not accept it and label it as bad, versus actually doing the internal work to understand, well, where is my sense of self wavering in that ideology or in that belief of mine. So can we attain peace and security so that we're not so swift to shut down an opposing opinion? Remember, a deeply rooted tree shakes less than a feeble work. And so I just ended it by saying, do inner work and happy deep rooting.